So I'm going to record this call.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Christine. Sincerely, I'm really, really happy to have you in this call tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. I'm going to let Mel, who is my partner and also the co-founder of our team, who's called Global Savers. So she's going to do your bio.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Christine. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We're really excited. So everyone, this is Christine Dwyer. She is a 2-time superstar diamond top coach, 6 times top elite fitness coach, coach since May 2008, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
First person to achieve the top rank in the company, 15-star diamond, and the first one to achieve it in her second business center. Amazing. Her leadership skills has developed the largest downline with over 171,000 coaches.
Yeah.
I'm all excited about my 250, so wow. Highest earning and part of the Multi-Millionaires Club, and you've also mentored a lot of multiple people to reach that multi-millionaire or 7 or 6-figure income.
Mm-hmm.
You were awarded the Beachbody Leadership Award in 2001. You also were awarded the CEO Award just this past July. Congratulations. That's amazing. Founder of Platinum Presenters, mentor in fitness to fans and the pros and leadership and systems and social media and marketing and branding. And I know because I follow you on Periscope and
Good.
very big on personal development too. And I find that absolutely amazing. You're a fitness instructor since 1991. And since you started working with Shailene Johnson in 2000, master trainer, and of course, mom and wife and 2 beautiful children. Woo, that was quite the introductions. Amazing.
Oh, too kind. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of titles and all, and I'm not one to go out to compete with anyone. Mostly all of that has been achieved just because I was really focusing on the success of other people. And obviously when you focus on the success of other people, your success obviously takes place. So that's just titles to me. And a lot of it doesn't seem real, especially having over 171,000 people in my downline. That sounds crazy, but it is real, and that's how big this can get for sure.
Absolutely. But I was at Summit, and I also listened to one of your calls, and I know your background, so I know you've worked really hard for it, so you deserve all those beautiful titles.
Oh, thank you.
Tonight the call is a little bit different that we used to do it, but it's really fun. Probably we're going to have a lot more questions, but I send you some of them, so you can go. The call is yours.
Perfect. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much again for you to invite me to your call. I don't get invited on calls very often. And then all of a sudden I get like a bunch of them at once. And I wonder, was there something like being promoted? Like, why is everyone now asking? But I do appreciate it. And I know it's always a challenge to be able to get your team on a call. So I thank you guys also for coming on live. And I'm glad that I'm going to be able to answer some of your questions for y'all. And for me, I know most of y'all are speaking French. And I'm going to try to speak a little slower because I naturally talk fast. But I do have a mixed accent because I'm originally from New York. And I grew up outside of Syracuse and Utica, New York. And then I moved over to Buffalo for a little bit and also then settled in Rochester, New York with my husband. And that's actually where I was when I first started in Beachbody. So to give you guys a quick snapshot of my background, because of course, just hearing titles doesn't really, mean much. So my background is originally I've been a fitness instructor since 91. And so I was teaching in the gyms, of course, but my career was in medical sales and applications for digital x-ray equipment. And so I would travel all throughout the US, throughout Canada, and even Europe. And I would constantly do these sales demonstrations as well as installations in many of the hospitals, and then teach everyone how to use the equipment. So a lot of what that was about, like just in the medical sales, that is the same as what coaching is about. Because I came into, say, a hospital, and I'm bringing in this brand new, scary equipment that people have never used before, and they don't trust it because their way is always the right way. And it was my job to be able to help them understand how this is going to help them be more successful faster, and how it's going to make their life easier and have a better quality to it. And that's the same thing with coaching. Is doesn't matter what the product is, you're just really trying to help people see past the product and really seeing how it's going to make their life easier and also better. And so that all, work together. And it's the same with what you have, is your experiences and your profession and what you've been doing in life before still translates over to coaching. And it's just a matter of stepping away from the tattoos of Beachbody. And I am one really that strongly will stand up and say, stop trying to promote like you own Beachbody, because you don't, and Carl does. So when Carl and the other leaders or the corporate staff within Beachbody talk to you guys and tell you, hey, put up this post, and why don't you wear this? And they tell you what to do, but they own the company. So you don't have to listen to the marketing techniques of Beachbody, because you are your own entity, and you have to protect your brand and not be seen as a salesperson, but to really develop yourself and a reason for people to follow you. So the rest of my journey was I met Chalene Johnson. So those of you who aren't familiar with Chalene, she is the creator of the home video workouts of Turbo Jam, Turbo Fire, Chalene Extreme, Pio. But I met her in 2000, actually right before. And that's where I applied to work for her company, which was Powder Blue Productions. And that's when I started my journey working with her as a presenter. So I was one of the first people that worked for her to go around and be an extension of her to certify people in Turbo Kick and in Pio. And so I had, of course, a territory, and I did travel a lot throughout Quebec and throughout Ontario and New York and all throughout the Northeast, certifying people in these formats. And then I moved to working for her company full time and managing and training and mentoring the other presenters that were going to be working for her company to help them succeed in their own fitness businesses as a presenter. And that, of course, is where, I've worked with her since 2000, and I formally quit that job in 2011 because you have to give up something. So Beachbody was becoming a monster, and I joined in 2008. I'm not a founding coach, and the business was around already for a year and a half, and someone told me about it, and I was like, this is stupid. I would never do that. Why would I pay a monthly fee when I can just go to the vitamin store and just get the supplements I needed? I didn't see it, and I'm glad I didn't see it, because I would have been with a bad sponsor, because I don't really think they're doing much with this. But so then a year passed, and Chalene is a person that will never promote something fast unless she's really studied it. And she sat and studied Beachbody for about a year. And then finally she was like, this is legit. You guys should jump on this. And that's, of course, where I then decided to open up my eyes and do this. So that was 2008. And I was still living in Rochester, New York. And because I was a fitness person, my husband just looked at it as, oh, it's just another fitness job you're going to do and make yourself so busy and give up so much of your time again for no money. Because that's just all I ever did was, sure, Chalene, you want us to come out to California and pay for it all ourselves and work 12, 15 hours a day for no pay? Sure, we'll do that. But that's what we did. And so he just looked at it as another thing like that. And he wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing at all to do with it. He told me, you do what you're going to do, but I don't want any part of it. And then he was working in Buffalo, New York at the time. and he was working as a CIO, so an information officer for a school. And he basically, he saw me achieve superstar diamond coach, and he's like, great job, like, hooray. He didn't really understand it's really kind of a big deal. And because it was just another achievement. I always work to achieve and be the best me. So it was just like, okay, good job. You did it in this fitness job. And so it really wasn't until 2.5 years that I was a coach. And I was already making hundreds of thousands of dollars within 2.5 years. And I had a check, and we had 3 different bank accounts. My husband had his own, I had my own, and then we had the joint one that would pay all the bills. And so I gave him a check to go deposit, and that's when he got the deposit slip out of the ATM. And he was like, what the heck is this? He had no idea what all that money was, because I grew up with nothing. So when I grew up, I was that very poor girl that got the donated clothes and the government supported food. I would steal all my paper route money to go buy junk food at the grocery store. That's what I did. So as an adult, since I had money, all I wanted to see was that climbing in numbers up in the bank account. And that was great, but it really is painful when you start making a lot of money and you're not investing it. And then when tax time comes, I mean, you guys, majority of you in Canada, I don't know how it works, of course, for paying the government, but in New York, living in upstate New York was quite painful because the taxes were really bad because we're paying for New York City. So that's why taxes in New York were really bad. And so he finally saw how much I was making. He was like, what is this? And I said, this is what I've been doing. And he goes, well, this is dumb. Why do you have so much money here? I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with it. Like, numbers to me just go out my head. I'm that social person, the creative person. And if I have to read and focus on numbers and investing, I just tune out. So that's why I was just like, well, then you do it. And so he progressively just kind of got with a financial advisor and got all the taxes stuff all fixed up. And he prepared for his exit out of working in Buffalo because it was dumb for him to continue to work as a job when our goal was to be with our 2 kids. So we have 2 kids, I have a son and a girl. And we really wanted to both be there. And at that time, so he just basically figured out how to transition, get health insurance. So again, I don't know how it works different in Canada, but in US, when you are your own business, you have to pay for your own health insurance. And it's really expensive when you are your own business owner compared to working for an employer. So he just set all that stuff up, and I don't worry about that part of it all. But right now, I mean, we still obviously do this completely together, and we live in Texas now. We moved in 2011, September of 2011, and it was because I was, first of all, fed up with the cold. I know a lot of you guys are dealing with that right now. But I was like, why are we suffering? Like, for real. It hurts my bones.
Mel and I, it's our goal to be in warm.
No, it hurts. And we were really honestly staying there in New York because we kept saying, our family is here, our family's here. But then when we actually looked at it, his dad was in Syracuse and my sisters were in Utica. They never came to visit. So we're like, why are we staying in Rochester when no one comes to visit? So my son was just starting school at that time, and it was perfect to move. And Texas doesn't have state income tax. So again, in the US, we have to pay 2 types of taxes, one to the federal government and then one to state. And so Texas doesn't have state tax. So we saved a ton of money to move here because now we're not paying for the New York state taxes. And so multiple other reasons. And I have friends here too, but it's easy to travel. So that's kind of been my journey with doing this. And being a fitness instructor, I was always that person helping anyway. I was constantly helping and not getting much in return. So I was that person really nervous about joining something where people are going to see me as a salesperson or trying to sell them something that they didn't want. And I never took that approach. So when I first joined as a coach, 2008, I was 5 months pregnant with my daughter at the time. And I had my son, he was 1.5. I basically joined and I signed on a lot of my fitness connections from the years of doing certifications. So I had a ton of people that I was responsible for, and they all just looked back at me and said, now what? And so I was kind of stressed out and freaking out about that because I'd never done network marketing. They had never done network marketing. We were fitness people. We like to help people, but we just didn't know what to do. So I did study as much as I could. I was on every webinar. Back then, there was no Beachbody webinars. There was no training. There was no coach online office. There was none of that. That we just had to really go to other network marketing pros and try to figure and learn from them. And so the initial phases, and I'm going to roll into the top 10 mistakes people are making on social media, and then I'm going to go through some of your questions as well. So the initial thing was that we only knew how to help people get closer to their fitness goals. And so the difference when my team, which is Team Platinum Presenters, started was that Beachbody was really focusing on this direction with the current coach database that they had. They were telling coaches basically find people who want to lose weight, help them lose weight, then help them become a coach. So that was the pattern that they were taking. When we came in, we were still doing that approach, but we were already very proficient with communications, and we already knew a lot of people who wanted a business to latch around to be able to make more money in fitness. So we didn't need to only go to people who needed to change their body to be able to be involved in this. We went to the people who were the people changing people's bodies to be able to go and do this. So to grow the coaching part of our business really grew fast because we were looking at it as this is a business model and we're already helping people. And the advantage that my team had was we already had a strong footing in social media. Because of those years working for Chalene Johnson's company, that's how we promoted our certifications, was through social media and connections. So that's the reason why we were able to grow fast, because we already had our team in social media and we really focused on getting as many people involved, whether they needed to help themselves as well as to be as a business as well. So that's kind of been the journey. And many of my coaches. So I personally don't have a coach. So for those of you who don't really know, Beachbody has two different organizations. And I searched for you, Marie. So you're not a Platinum Presenters coach, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you guys are in the other downline and lineage that has like Milan Jensen, Pete Pena, Robert Hudgens, Tracy Morrow, Josh Spencer, Lindsay Matway, Barbie Decker, that lineage. I'm not connected at all to them. So it's like we're a different moon on Jupiter. So you guys are one moon and I'm a different moon. So Platinum Presenters is its own downline. So what business you guys do doesn't even touch it.
Actually, I don't know the top of our downline. I'm trying to find it, but really? I don't know if you're one of.
I'm not.
No.
Let me quick show you, just so you know what I mean. Who shows as your Star Diamond coach? Do you know?
In my downline, it's because I'm a 4-star diamond. So it's Emily Robidas, who's in my hotline. I think it's Bob Lucido, Jason Diego. I don't know, Dieb.
Okie.
Pretty sure someone written. Pretty sure Monica Ward.
Yeah, so you guys aren't connected in our line. This is how it works. So Beachbody, when they decided to be in network marketing, they get a certain amount of positions, and I'll just kind of draw it so you get an idea of what I'm talking about, that they can open up a new downline. Okay, so you have an idea. So this is a crude drawing, but I'm going to show it up here. Can you see what that looks like?
Yes.
So that's Beachbody. And those two legs right there, that's the downline you're in. So that downline was the initial downline. That's the one that started way back. That's where Bob Lucido's in. That's where Robert Hudgens in. That's where Tracy Morrow's in. So when Beachbody was already a year and a half old, and they knew that there was going to be a bunch of new people coming in, they started a brand new leg. So that is me. That's it. So do you see that the business I do doesn't even touch you because I am this person. So I don't have a coach. My assigned coach is Beachbody. That's who mine is. So I started as person number 1 and grew a new downline. And they actually had a third one, but it bombed and they shut it down to focus on the other 2. So that's a lot of stuff, that's secrets that a lot of people don't know. But the reason why I'm telling you that is because to help support other coaches, like doing calls like this, is really important. No matter which downline you're in, you still want to be that leader that helps and supports as many people as possible, no matter that it doesn't affect you personally, because that's what leaders do. And so if you want to have that best reputation of being a person of service and to really grow faster, that's what you want to do. So some of my top coaches, so Janelle Summers, she's actually one of my coaches, and she's a 3-time Superstar Diamond coach. And a lot of the top ones, so Monica Gray, Hillary Plausch now, Andrew Green, a lot of the top ones are in my organization and on this side at social media. So just make sure, if you're going to be looking to follow certain people to learn different techniques, make sure you know and study them for a while to see if what they're talking about is actually legit stuff. That's always my best word of advice. So I'm going to go through the top 10 mistakes that a lot of people make on social media. And when we were discussing what we were going to talk about, this is a can of worms. And so obviously I'm not doing a deep dive into Facebook or Twitter. This is a generality because this is like a college course. It's so big. So I just want to touch on some of the most common ones. Okay, so the first mistake a lot of people make with their social media is they focus on too many different platforms. So obviously you hear of Instagram and Pinterest and Periscope and Facebook and YouTube and blogging. There's multiple different ones out there. If you're not proficient in having all the areas nailed in terms of social media marketing, you need to focus on 1 or 2. So the general rule of thumb is to really focus and nail understanding how to use 1 to 2 max. Now, once you've nailed 1 to a good degree, that's where you can start to hire out people to do some of the content and running it for you. But the thing is that the amateur coach, and this is typically what I see, is the amateur coach thinks they've nailed Facebook, but you've never nailed any of them because they're constantly changing. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg's money is in, is to constantly keep confusing us and coming out with different ways to make us learn how to proficiently use it. So you never really have mastered any of them. You're constantly a student, and you have to hold that mentality to be able to get it to work for you. So the problem with coaches is they see the top coaches crushing it, like Melanie Mitro. She crushes it on Pinterest. And then you'll see, for instance, at my conference I just had, I had a lot of top coaches like Alexis Whalen and who else was there? Oh, like Leticia Dominguez. They kill, and Angie Bellamar. Instagram. They crush it on Instagram. So the problem is too many times coaches see, oh my gosh, Angie is getting a ton of coaches from Instagram because she signs like 30 coaches a month. She's getting them from there. I'm going to go over there. Oh, so-and-so, Melanie's selling a bunch of 21-day fix on Pinterest. I'm going to go over there. So you start to hop because you think that's where you got to go. But you'll never do well, and you'll constantly be in this chase because you're not focusing on really doing one really well. So don't worry about what other people are doing. Focus on the one that speaks to you. So that's my best advice, is pick the one that relates to you the best, how it works for your lifestyle. If you're on the go and you have a full-time job, maybe Instagram is easier for you because you can quickly do it on your phone in a bathroom, So you got to find ones that are going to work for you and then really study them and keep studying them and listen as much as you can to podcasts and really understand them so that you can get them to work for you. Because it's not about just throwing shit up on the wall and seeing who responds to it. It's about making sure you are working as a marketer. And that's actually going to be one of my other posts here. The second mistake is posting and running. So posting and running. This is really like deep business marketing stuff. And if you look at it that way, you're going to totally excel a lot faster. So posting and running. A lot of people think, I just got to get a post up. And so they put up something like with a picture or video or whatever, and then they wonder why people don't comment on it, why people don't like it, why people don't share it. How come I'm not getting more followers? Is that you?
Mario.
Oh, that's you guys. Okay. It's like, where's this phone coming from? So it's because of that, because you have in your blood, basically, say for instance, it's Facebook, your Facebook analytics or your algorithm that Mark keeps on tab for you in Facebook is basically saying that you don't interact in a timely manner, that you don't visit other people's content, that you're not sharing other people's content, that you're just a person that puts something up and sits back and waits. And so Facebook keeps this algorithm on you, and it's also called an edge rank, and watches your mannerisms, your clicking. Where do you click? So it's not just a matter of you actually clicking the like button. Facebook is like really freaking scary with how much it knows about you. And they capture all that data, and that's what makes it why your stuff is seen and not seen. So if you're posting and running, then you're not going to get any interaction on that. Now, of course, it depends on what type of pictures and videos you put up, which I'm not going to go deep into. But what you best want to do is when you do put up content, that you need to make sure that you have moments, and it's best if you can do this within the first 15 minutes, to sit there and respond and communicate with anybody that does comment or interacts on your post. The other thing is that you definitely want to spend time and go interact on other people's posts and in other groups. So the more active you're living in that world, it's like a Sims world. Did you ever play Sims where you build the communities and stuff? It's a video game. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I got addicted to it in the early 2000s. But that's what Facebook wants you to do. They want you to live in their world. And the more that people are living, and that's why when you pay for Facebook ads, they value you more because you are investing in the community. So that's what Facebook really wants, is for you to be invested, but they want you to educate and engage. So the first thing that they want is you to educate and engage. So if you're not getting any interaction, it's because of those things. Okay, the third mistake is many, and I see this as coaches, but mostly as entrepreneurs, that you're thinking like a teenager as opposed to looking at it like you are getting your master's in social media marketing. That's really what you have to constantly keep in your head. It's not, again, just putting up something that people are going to find funny or that they might like. It's really getting away from telling people that you're going shopping and the type of weather that it is, or look at my tree. You know, it's getting away from just giving status updates, and you have to move away. So teenagers do that because teenagers use it as a social platform, period. And so, we're ending soon?
No, I'm upgrading my account.
Okay, I didn't know. I was like, I would have gone faster then. Okay, so you have to really look at this like you are in a master's course. We're going for college for social media marketing, and you're constantly learning about analytics, insights, how to optimize. So you're in research and study mode all the time. So if you can separate yourself and spend more time on testing what works, because do you know right now what kind of pictures your audience wants to see? Which ones don't get results? Which ones get results? What kind of videos does your audience want to see? Which ones don't get results? Do you know how long your videos are best viewed at? So if you don't know those things, then that's going to be a challenge because you're thinking like a teenager. And if you're using a profile page to build your business, you are still thinking like a teenager. You have to have a like page. And the only way to build your business on social media, on Facebook, and not get it shut down is by using a like page, because that's where the analytics are. It tells you how old the people are that are following you, what they like, what time they're on, and a ton of other stuff. So that's the first thing, is making sure that you spend time optimizing it and understanding what works. That's it. But the other part is to really personalize it. and make sure that it's really speaking to your audience. And you got to know who your audience is. And I think I'm going to be talking about that coming up too. Okay. So number 4, and I'll stop at 5. And if you guys have questions from 5, and then we'll go on from there. Okay. So number 4 is it's not a commercial. So you watch TV commercials. They're a general mass, commercial selling you something. That's what they're meant for. And many times entrepreneurs or coaches really focus on using Facebook or Instagram like it's a commercial, where they're just putting up something flashy to get someone excited to be able to buy from them or to sign up with them as a coach. So it's not a commercial at all. And what you have to really think is removing yourself from being that one-track mind, that your goal for putting that stuff up there is to get something in return. So if you think that way, that's going to be a big roadblock for you. What you have to focus on is when you are putting stuff up there, it's because you're really building your value, that you are valuable, that people are going to want to come visit you every day because you're valuable, not because you've got a challenge group running. So if you put up posts of, hey, my next challenge group is running blah, 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 or my next coach sneak peek is running, then that's a commercial. And people don't respond to commercials, because I know myself, I fast forward through commercials. I tape everything so I don't have to watch the commercials. And you're being ignored if you're looking at it that way. But the other side is a commercial is a mass promotion speaking to everyone. So if you're trying to capture anyone's attention, you're speaking to no one. You have to really focus on who is your target audience, who's your niche, who are you wanting to see your content. A big question a lot of people ask me is, how do I get top quality leads? You'll get top quality leads when you hone in on exactly who you want to talk to. But if you're just throwing out a big wide net and hoping someone bites, you're getting very low quality leads of people who just want something for free. And then you waste so much time answering emails back and forth, and then come to the end where it says, oh, I have no money. And then they don't want anything. So you're going to get faster results if you can hone in on exactly who you should be talking to. And I know for myself, I was scared to do this because you really just want business. And you think, well, if I exactly speak to what I'm talking about, then I may be missing all these other leads that somebody else could capture. But if you focus on exactly who you're talking to, those are higher quality leads. They will move towards the direction that you're looking to move towards. And you're not wasting your time with the people just making noise and wanting something for free and of your time. So let those other lower quality leads go, because most of the time, those are the headaches. And those are the coaches that never follow through when they do sign up as a coach too. So that's something to consider as well. And one last part about it is to constantly put the shoe on the other foot. So what every type of social media post that you put up, step back, and before you hit post, look and see, would I respond to that? Does that sound, salesy? Does this offer value? That should be the first thing. And every post that you're putting up there, is it helping someone with something? So is it giving them a tip? Is it offering them value? Is it teaching them something? And if it's not, you're promoting. So that's typically what every post should be. Or it could be like a recognition or a celebration type post as well. All right, and 5, and then I'll just stop for questions if y'all have any. 5 is that you are leading people to a dead end. So leading people to a dead end is many amateur coaches will be super excited to get another like on their page, or to get someone to comment, or to really just become more of a person that people follow. Who cares? Because your popularity is not going to pay your bills. What you have to focus on is when you are leading someone to your page, that you're not just sending them off on a wild, dead end search. Be very direct on what you want people to do. So you have to have a sign-up form. So if you don't have an email capture form set up, then you are missing a lot of opportunity. And if you constantly go on Periscope, so say for instance we're on Periscope or on YouTube, and you make a video, and at the end of your video you say, thanks guys, why don't you go over to my facebook.com/blah blah blah. And you're just telling people to go there. You're telling people to go nowhere. And this is the same when people are interested in buying something from you. Many times coaches will say, how do I handle this situation? If someone comes up to you and says, hey, I'm looking to buy 21-day fix, how can I get it from you? Many amateur coaches will just say, awesome, here's my website, go and get it. You don't want to respond that way, because do you know if 21-day fix is the right program for that person? So I actually never respond. If they ask me the price, I never respond, because I don't know if that's the right product for them. So I ask them a lot of questions to really dig to know if that's going to be the right thing, and let them know, I don't want you to buy something that is not going to be right for you. So I just want to ask you a lot of questions. Here's another mistake. People will come to you and say, I need a new workout program. Tell me what your website is. I want to get it from you because you're awesome. Okay, here's my website. You send people to your website. It's the same thing as sending someone to Amazon.com and saying, tell me what you like. You can't do that. You can't just send someone to our pages and be like, look at it all. So if in your bio, so if you have Instagram and in your Instagram bio, it has your Beachbody URL, that's not good, because you now just told someone to go to Amazon and shop around for what they like. Your URLs should never be direct to Beachbody, because do you really think someone is just going to say, ooh, look at that girl, let me go on her website and just buy something from her? They're not. They're not. They're going to want to buy from whoever they have a connection with. So make sure your URLs are of sending people to a sign-up form where you're going to give them something for free, or some way to be able to get to know you more. So for instance, if your blog, you've got a lot of recipes on your blog, whatever it is, but it should never be your Beachbody URL. And if it is, I would definitely quickly remove that. Let's see what else.
Hey, Christine, I don't know why, but the upgrade is not going right. I don't know why. We're going to click again on the same link, and we're going to be back in about 2 seconds.
So do I hang up?
Yeah, we're going to hang up and just click again.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Sorry.
Sorry.